we share a lesson on history that you may not know about the Kentucky Derby. Well, good morning and thank you so much for waking up with us on this first Saturday in May, the Kentucky Derby Day. I'm Rich Donnelly.
And I'm Jasmine Monroe. I have to just let you know that I come prepared, okay?
Oh,
I have
with
my
a fancy
fascinator,
hat.
and we'll talk about all this and more. Robert, I think I'm ready for the Derby.
Decked out in her finest, no less.
I had no idea you were about to put that on. I'm jealous.
Like
What, you didn't bring me and Rich a hat?
I think, you know what, Rich, I feel like you have a hat, don't you? You have to have a seersucker suit and a nice hat. Don't worry, I'll get you one.
I have options. Nothing
compared to
No,
that.
it would pale in comparison to the lovely haberdashery that Jackson did.
We'll talk about the fascinators coming up. We gotta
Looking forward to that. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Cool. Robert, how's the weather outside?
Hey, you know, at a practical standpoint, I think wearing a hat today, maybe kind of blocking out the sun, especially if you're out.
A lesson on history that you may not know about the Kentucky Derby. Well, good morning and thanks for waking up with us here on First Coast News. Jasmine is surprise and all, it continued with her fashion glory.
Yes.
She's Jasmine, I'm Rich, and she has a fascinating piece of headwear.
Oh my goodness. We'll talk about how fascinators are so fascinating. And here, it's an eyepiece. You have something to focus. You know I love fashion. You know I love news.
I'm
going to
go out on a limb right here and say that the coordination of the ribbon to the nails to the dress.
Yes.
Not a mistake.
It's not. It's honestly
not a coincidence.
But before we get to the hat and all of this, we need to know if they're going to have good weather. So what's going to be happening today? It is March. I said March. It's May 4th. May the 4th be with you.
May the March be with you.
Marching into May.
Which is my birthday, by the way. There you
Oh,
go.
March 4th. See, I was just talking about you. Look at this crazy.
Yeah, that's it. I want a hat like that next year.
This could be arranged, Robert.
It can.
I'm going to stand by it, too. Hey,
He will remember.
let's take a look outside. This is way...
Falling down. Is it falling down?
Jasmine has dressed for the occasion. It is Kentucky Derby Day, and I'm woefully underdressed. Apparently.
Listen. We're making it work, but it's
So
a
I've got to
fascinator.
ask. It's fascinating as well. I've got to ask. Is it comfortable, or is this purely for fashion?
I just don't like this piece, but how else is it going to stay on your head?
You need
There's
like a heavy clip action in there.
Can you see it? Can you see it?
Oh,
it's perfect.
I don't think it could be missed.
I want to tell people I made this hat. So, but Studio Marie in Cleveland, Ohio, she helped me make it. The only piece that I made is this little pink piece right here.
Well, you
so
contributed
she
to
did the
a
rest.
lovely ensemble.
I'm going to take this off. I'm messing up my hair. But yes, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for Good Morning Jacksonville.
Let's go check in with meteorologist Robert Speta. Robert, if someone was wearing a fascinator outside, how fastened down would that fascinator need to be?
What?
Is it windy?
That was so funny. You had no idea what you were talking about.
I mean, we're trying.
I'm just upset I wasn't told we were wearing cool hats
It's okay.
today.
Next
It's
time.
not Crazy Hat Saturday.
I'm pretty sure people are begging for the weather right now, Robert.
Yeah, I'll get to it.
Well, it is a day that thousands of people have been looking forward to, and more than 100,000 fans will be at Churchill Downs in Louisville, Kentucky. Jasmine, we have a show that we're doing.
I'm sorry. I was.
You know, there's an important horse race that's happening today in Kentucky, and here you are just talking about hats.
That's right, and I love it. So from wide brims to petite fascinators, all eyes will be on the fashion at this year's 150th Kentucky Derby.
Lights, camera, fashion.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
Well, I always tell people, if you have a head, you can wear a hat.
There's nothing quite like the Kentucky Derby.
It's an important time of year in the millinery world because people embrace hats.
Lee St. Marie has designed derby hats for 10 plus years. She tells us Kentucky Derby hats are not only a fashion tradition, but also a good luck charm.
The hats are happy and they're fun to wear, and I think sometimes they're looking for an excuse, and the Derby gives them one.
Most guests let their personalities fly free in their outfit choices, but most of all in their hats.
I am really looking to bring out the person's personality. In other words, I wear the hats I like. I want you to wear the hat that you're really going to enjoy.
Cynthia Lundeen is a local milliner who knows how to pair those stunning hats with the perfect dress.
I love making people happy. I would say more than making hats, I make people happy. I had clients who've actually danced. They put on their hat and began dancing. It makes them happy.
Sometimes I'll have a little tiny woman wanting a really big hat, and sometimes I think, it might eat you alive. But if that's what you have your heart set on, we're gonna make it work.
Women in the stands generally wear wide-brimmed Southern Belle-inspired derby hats that can be decorated with silk flowers, bows, and ribbons, among other things.
These are vintage feathers that came off of a vintage hat. I can tuck that back in, and I would probably tack that in place. And once that's tacked in, you now have a jazzy or derby hat.
See, the truth of the matter is, although thousands will be watching the horse racing, your eyes will be fascinated with the fashion.
Kentucky Derby is about fast horses and fine hats.